You need to know KCIM is the place to listen on 1380 AM and 95.1 FM. This is KCIM Carroll.
KCIM Sports presents the Pizza Ranch Saturday Morning Coaches Show with Sports Director Jeff Blankman.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. We're going to talk with Deb Danner as the boys' swim team had a great start to the state tournament yesterday. They'll wrap it up today. Randy Beeson with the Carroll boys basketball team joins us. Sean Minahan with the Kemper boys basketball team. Katie Cook with the Carroll girls basketball team. Justin Yetmar with the Kemper girls basketball team. Eric Nago with the Carroll boys wrestling team. And Shane Vaughn with the Kemper boys wrestling team, all set to join us yet this morning. Let's run you through what happened last night, though, in local sports. We're going to start off with the state swim meet. Of course, it was Tegan Renzi taking first in the 200 freestyle prelims. He'll be the number one seed going into the finals today. Legan Seath was sixth in the 200 IM. Landon Kedwell would finish 23rd. Tegan Renzi took third in the 100 free, and it was again Legan Seath taking tied for sixth in the 100 breaststroke. So Legan and Tegan both qualifying in two events for the finals coming up yet today. In boys bowling, Kemper was at the Hawkeye 10 Conference Tournament yesterday down at Lewis Central. The Kemper boys would finish 7th. They bowled a 2,776. Lewis Central won it with a 3,013. Brendan Vanami led the Knights with a 386. Joel Schulte finished up with a 376. Boys basketball action last night. It was the Carroll Tigers falling in a heartbreaker, losing to Gilbert 75-72. Carroll rallied back from down 15 midway through the third to lead by 5 in the fourth, but could not quite hold on. Jared Moore had a great game, 26.16 rebounds. Lowell Thargiath, 14.5 blocks and 5 rebounds. Matt Collison had 16 points, 2 assists, really led that charge in the fourth quarter, but the Tigers again fall 75-72. We'll step away back with head coach Deb Danner to talk about the Carroll boys swim meet coming up right here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. When life gets busy and schedules start shifting, figuring out meals can get a little tricky. Pizza Ranch is here to make it easy. Stop in for their buffet and enjoy all your Pizza Ranch favorites. Prefer to stay in? Check out their new carry-out and delivery deals. An 8-piece chicken box for $16 or a large pizza with 16 boneless wings for just $25. Call today or order any of these offers online at PizzaRanch.com. Pizza Ranch just off Highway 30 in Carroll.
Whoa, that's good.
Jeff Blankman joined here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show by Deb Danner of the Carroll boys swim team. Of course, they're headed into day number 2, where they're looking to make another big splash down at the state tournament. Had a very good prelim day on Friday. Coach, it's always good to catch up with you. You got to be excited going into today.
Oh, for sure. We are very excited going in for today. We got 4 individual events that are in the championship heat. Looks awesome for them. We got a couple of relays that are going to be swimming. So, yeah, it's going to be a very exciting day. Before
we break down what it looks like for today, kind of take us through Friday. Tegan won the 200 free. Legan made it in both the 100 breast and the 200 IM, and Tegan again in as you said, all 4 of the events in that qualifying heat in the top 8. But he goes in the 100 free as well. So a really strong day. Tegan, the number 1 seed in the 200 free. I'll bring that up because that's probably the most exciting of the day. But what did you think overall about how those guys swim in those 4 events?
Yeah. So Tegan's 200 free was a little more excitement than what we were really hoping for. No. It was scary. So at the start of his race, somebody dropped their metal water bottle.
Oh, geez.
Which Tegan and 2 other swimmers flinched, which would have been called a DQ.
Right.
False start.
Yep.
But getting together with the officials and talking it over, they decided that was beyond anyone's control.
Wow.
He flinched, but he didn't go.
Okay.
He waited for the actual horn to go. So he did not get DQ'd, which, like I said, that whole thing was just scary.
Yeah.
So it was, and the fact that he went out and he swam as well as he did, knowing that in the back of his head that he may be getting DQ'd, was an amazing race for him to be able to still stay focused.
So they left him swim before determining whether or not he was DQ'd or not? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, so in swimming, if you false start, they don't call you back. They don't call the field back. You swim, and then they DQ you afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't for sure if they stopped it after the drop of the bottle before the horn went, but you did say the horn had gone off. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's mental toughness.
That was a very scary race for all of us. Like, we got a kid who's going to probably go in number one, but might actually even get DQ'd. So, yeah, when the race was over, they called me over, and we all talked about what had happened. And the other kids confirmed that, there was a water bottle drop, and the whole pool area heard it. Okay. So they decided that since he did not take off, that he only flinched, that it would not be called a DQ. So, so yeah, we get to go in number one. So hopefully we can capitalize on that and not have that same situation happen.
So you would guess because of that he might have more in him for today, for later today,
right.
Because hopefully that situation doesn't occur again.
Yes, that's what we're hoping. That was just kind of a little holdback for him. With that running through his head during his 200 race. I mean, that's a long time to be thinking about it. So I'm very hopeful that he'll go in and swim an even faster race.
And you said there's two guys that are probably going to be his stiffest competition. Not that other guys can't jump into that, but he certainly is probably the favorite going in.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, he's the favorite by a quarter of a second right now. So, you can't count the other kids out yet, not until the race is over. So, but yeah, we're very hopeful that he'll end up first place.
Legan Cease in the 200 IM qualifies. Landon Kedwell, he qualifies 6th. Landon swam well, I'm guessing, but didn't get into the action today.
No, Landon did not make it into finals for today. He swam a very good race. His first time at an individual event, actually his first time swimming at state.
Right.
So, we're proud of his effort. We're proud of what he did yesterday. It was a great meet for him. But now he's just going to focus in on swimming his best at the relays.
What'd you see from Legan in both his 200 IM, and then he qualified 7th in the 100 breaststroke? How did he swim on Friday?
Okay, so his 2 IM, we talked about his weaknesses in that event. So it's something he knows where to, he's going to have to push a little harder what he can do to fix that. So, his breaststroke was not his breaststroke. I'm sorry, his backstroke in the 2 IM was just a little too relaxed. So we know we're going to have to push that a little bit harder for today. His 100 breaststroke, he actually tied for 6th place going in for finals. Okay. So, he knows what he needs to do there. He's got great underwaters, and he didn't take full advantage of it. So, we'll make sure that happens today, and hopefully it'll bring him up a little bit higher in his standing. Okay.
So he's got a chance to do really well. Nice to see him in the top 8 in both of those events. Tegan, 3rd in the 100 freestyle. There were some events in between. So after that scare, had he had a chance to kind of calm down and get his mind refocused, I'm assuming, for that 100 freestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. He was there when we were talking with the officials, so he knew right away that he did not get DQ'd, and which was a great relief in his mind. Then he went back to the cool down pool, did a nice little cool down, kind of got his mindset back where it needs to be, and it was. He had time to get focused again, and it showed. He swam a 44.58, which is just phenomenal. So, yeah, he's ready to go.
Let's talk the 2 relays today, the 200 freestyle relay and the 400 freestyle relay, both Legan and Tegan in those. You mix in Landon Kedwell again and also Weston Toft on those. What's the thoughts going in for both of those today?
Yeah, we're just going to go out and do the best we can, hopefully make the podium. They have every opportunity. We switched up our 2 free relay. We switched that up a little bit. So Legan will be leading that off, and Tegan will anchor it. And I think we'll have a very good shot at hitting podium with that one. The 4 free relay, it's always hard because it's at the end of the day. It's been a long day, and
yep.
If we can just keep them fresh throughout the day, I think they'll have a real good shot at hitting podium on that one too.
So what did you do for the guys last night, or what did you have them do to kind of cool down, got you refreshed from Friday's action to be ready to go today? And when does everything start for you guys today?
Yeah, so, we got them back to the hotel, got them fed, and it's tough when you don't get back to the hotel until 8:30, 8:45, and now you got to eat. So that's kind of rough for them. Then throw them in an ice bath and try and get some of that lactic acid out and wrap them up tight and put them in bed. It's like about all you can really do.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, fantastic job all season long and for years with this team, but especially here lately and stuff with this group this year. So best of luck coming up tomorrow, and looking forward to catching up with you again to find out how these guys did.
Yep, thank you.
You bet. Head coach again, Deb Danner with the Carroll Boys swim team. We're back with more on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
Ladies, this one's for you. Join us for a girls' night out, perimenopause edition at St. Anthony Hospital. A relaxed, no-judgment night all about women's health, connection, and real conversation. Hi, this is Jessica Burkowski, a nurse practitioner and certified menopause specialist with St. Anthony Clinic. The evening begins with opening the conversation on perimenopause wellness, setting the stage for the night ahead. Then you'll enjoy a special screening of the M Factor 2 Before the Pause, a powerful and relatable film exploring the physical, emotional, and social sides of perimenopause and midlife health. There'll be a popcorn bar with fun toppings, pop, and wine, and yes, athleisure is encouraged. Come comfy, bring a girlfriend, and settle in for a conversation every woman deserves to be a part of. It's Wednesday, March 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. Space is limited. Register online today at our St. Anthony Facebook page. Girls Night Out, Perimenopause Edition, because you're not alone, and it's time we talk about it. St. Anthony Regional Hospital, always look to the cross, always St. Anthony.
Pizza Ranch Coaches Show rolling on this Saturday morning. Jeff Blankman talking right now with Randy Beeson, of course, the head boys basketball coach with the Carroll Tigers. They come off a tough loss last night. One more game left in the regular season at Harlan coming up on Tuesday. Coach, it's always good to catch up with you. Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, good talking with you, Jeff.
You bet, Coach. We talked a little bit about that one last night in our post-game interview, but kind of heartbreaker, the last Raccoon River Conference game for you guys as a member of the conference. You rally back down 15 in the third. You get a 5-point lead in the fourth quarter, but Gilbert made just enough plays to be able to come back and edge you guys there in the final moments. Yeah,
it was a tough game last night. We started off a little slow in the first half. Give Gilbert credit. They shot the ball really well. We couldn't get stops. Gave up 39 points in the first half, and that's very unlike us.
Yep.
And we give our guys credit. They battled back in the second half. Again, not great defensively, but we got some steals. We sped them up a little bit. Our press got us back in the game, and then we got up 5 with 5 minutes to go in the game. We got up 4 with 3 minutes to go in the game, and we've always done a really good job of finishing those games and executing down the stretch and getting stops when we needed to. And unfortunately, it just didn't go our way last night. So a tough one last night, but our guys will respond, and we'll keep getting better to finish the year the right way.
Coach, I'll ask you kind of something I asked Jared last night, Jared Moore, in the postgame. He said that he didn't like the defense that you guys did in the first half and the energy they played with. I thought Gilbert shot the ball well, too, but what did you guys not feel like you did well in the first half defensively?
We let a couple guys get way too deep. There's a lot of dribble penetration all the way to the basket, and then helping late, and then led to some open shots. So a Toronis kid averages 4 or 5 points a game. He ended up having 16 last night. He just did whatever he wanted, then made his free throws, made 2 big threes when we didn't identify him in the second half. Stenson's a really nice player, but give up 19 points to him. We let him get going too much in the first half. I think he had 12 in the first half.
Yep.
And then the Ocala kid is a really good player, and we actually held him to 11. He averages 15. So we did a nice job on him. But it was those other guys that got going and did a little bit too much. So, again, we put ourselves in a position to come back and win. We started off slow, had a tough first half, but give our guys credit. They could have given up when we were down 14, 15 points, and they competed and battled back and put ourselves in a position to win the game. We just didn't find a way to finish.
That pressure defense you guys went into the third kind of sparked, I think, you guys' energy a little bit.
Yeah, we got some steals. Landon Peterson did a really nice job of getting his hands on a couple basketballs, getting some steals, made a couple free throws. So defensively, he was really good. You know, Jared Moore, we needed someone to rebound. We gave him way too many offensive rebounds last night. Jared Moore ended up with 15, 16 rebounds. Yep. So did a really nice job. We just needed some other guards to come and help him out a little bit as well. So obviously scoring 26 points and having that many rebounds, he did a really nice job. So I'm sure he's beating himself up a little bit at the free throw line there late, but all the guys have all the confidence in the world in him, and we know that he can make those, and it doesn't take away from the good game that he played.
What were you guys trying to set up there late with about 1.8? Looked like you were trying to throw it and get it to Tassel in the corner.
Yeah, I wish I could say I had a better play drawn up, but we knew that they were trying to take away our kind of lob that we'd throw up to Jared, so we tried to act like we were going to do that and then cut back to the basketball, and Mac made a really nice pass to Jared to get to that position and get himself fouled and get himself to the free throw line. So, and then they're late. You know, we're just trying to somehow come up with it and get a shot up when we're down 3. So give them credit.
Much better games to talk about. 2 wins, North Polk and Denison/Schleswig. North Polk earlier this week, Denison/Schleswig a week ago on Saturday. So what did you see in those 2 games, and what did you guys do well? Because Jared made it sound like he wasn't happy with the way you guys played even in the North Polk game.
Yeah, you know, we started off that game being down 21-6 in the first half of the North Polk game. So it's 2 games in a row where we didn't come out and play like we wanted to defensively, and we didn't score the basketball like we wanted to. So we're going to have to figure that out. You know, against some teams you can get away with that. Against good teams, against teams that, you know, if they lose, they're done. You can't come out and play that way. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to figure out, how we can be better to start the game and be more mentally focused on the defensive end. And, you know, we can keep saying give those guys credit for the way that they shot the ball and give those guys credit for how they played, but you have to dictate how those guys are playing on the offensive end. So we got to be better defensively and force tougher shots and not let them feel comfortable out there. But again, you know, I really thought once we took the lead here last night, the same way that we did it against North Polk, we talked about that at halftime. Hey, we've been in this position, we got to fight back. You guys have done it before, you can do it again. So I really thought once we took that lead last night that we were going to be able to hold on because we did the same thing at North Polk. So again, our guys, they'll have all the confidence in the world. We'll keep working and keep getting better. You know, the Denison game you brought up, we played really good basketball.
Yep.
We started the basketball, scored 72 points, held Denison to 54. A lot of guys stepped up and scored points. You know, Landon Peterson had a good game. Louis, Trey, Jared, I mean, I think they were all in double figures. So, again, we have a lot of guys that can step up and do a lot of nice things. So, last night hurt, but we'll find a way to keep getting better and finish the year strong.
Harlan coming up now to close out the regular season. You know them well. What are they like this year? What do you got to do to go down there and end the season on a positive note?
Yeah, we scrimmaged them over Christmas break. So, the McDowell kid's a really nice player. We have another kid, girls basketball, Clausen, girls basketball coach's son, is a real nice player. So we'll have to do a good job on those guys and slow them down, and then hopefully we'll play a little better defense and score in transition and do some simple defensive things that are going to make us better and get us ready for district time.
Do you care what the districts look like on Monday, or do you worry about it, or just when they come out, that's when you know, because nothing you can do about it, right?
Yeah, I told the guys, you know, after we lost this game, it's out of our control. So we'll play whoever they line us up against. We'll go wherever they send us. I think we're one of the better teams in 3A. So unfortunately, we didn't play that way last night, but I think we have a really nice team. So again, you can't control that. There's a lot of what ifs and trying to figure out where you're going to go and who you'd like to play. And we don't play that game. We'll play whoever and go wherever because it's one game at a time from there. So, again, if you start worrying about everyone else, that's when you get yourself in trouble. You got to make sure that you do things the right way and play Carroll basketball, and I think we'll like the end result.
Well, Coach, as always, appreciate all the time. Best of luck with Harlan, and we'll see you again here soon.
Jeff, appreciate all the coverage. Thank you.
You bet. Head coach Randy Beeson again joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We're back coming up next. When life gets busy and schedules start shifting, figuring out meals can get a little tricky. Pizza Ranch is here to make it easy. Stop in for their buffet and enjoy all your Pizza Ranch favorites. Prefer to stay in? Check out their new carry-out and delivery deals. An 8-piece chicken box for $16 or a large pizza with 16 boneless wings for just $25. Call today or order any of these offers online at PizzaRanch.com. Pizza Ranch just off Highway 30 in Carroll.
Whoa, that's good.
Sean Minahan, the head boys basketball coach with the conference champion Kemper Knight boys basketball team, joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. Coach, as always, good to catch up with you. Congratulations on securing that thing outright the other night.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet, Coach. Couple of big wins, one huge one down at the Casey Center. That had to be fun to play down there earlier this week on Tuesday night. You knocked off St. Albert, clinching nothing worse than a share of the conference championship, and then you win it outright with a good performance against Creston on Thursday night, Coach. Let's go back to Tuesday. I got to ask, St. Albert's a good team. How did you kind of dominate them? You end up winning that one by almost 30.
Yeah, we got out and really controlled the tempo. Our transition offense found a lot of early success and created some great shots. They have some really talented players that, the Hamilton kid, he's only a sophomore. He's their leading scorer. He averages over 19 points a game. He's very good. He's had over 60 made threes on the year, and I told our guys, we got to make sure we know where he is and be able to contest. And he hit like 3 or 4 threes in that first quarter. So we kind of got on him a little bit, challenged him because we gave up, I think they had 20 points the first quarter, held them to 11 in the second quarter. Third quarter, we got out really good coming out of halftime. First 4 minutes of halftime in the third were really good. We extended our lead out to right around 30 points, just under it. We then made a couple subs. And I think we just mentally kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit. Right at the same time, they put on like a half court trap, created some turnovers and some easy points. They went on a little bit of a run, but our guys really responded well and finished that game out strong in the fourth. Coach,
I got to ask, you don't normally see, usually this is where everybody knows the state tournament's been held in the past. You don't normally see a 26-20 first quarter very often. Most times teams kind of have to feel out the court, kind of feel out the shooting background. What was it that allowed both teams to maybe seem like they were so comfortable early?
The nice thing was we got down there early enough. Both teams got to shoot. The guys' teams got to shoot before the girls, warmed up for their game. So, that was really fun for our guys to get out there and get shots up and just kind of get used to the backdrop a little bit. But we've played on some different courts not only last year, but this year, that have given our guys different opportunities. Got a bunch of guys that play basketball, so they play in different, in different settings and backdrops as well from that. So they're used to it from there. But it was just the tempo of the game. For us, mainly, we were able to really create some 100% shots early. And when we attack the basket well early on, that's usually when we have our best shooting games. Not so much starting on the outside, but starting on the inside and then working the way out.
Coach, I know that you got a long way to go to get back down there for the state tournament, so not putting any kind of pressure on you, but how nice was it to get a chance to play in that arena before potentially playing there in a state tournament?
Well, that's kind of the idea I had at the end of last season. Try to get a game down there and just make the guys just give them that small taste of what it is to play down there, and hopefully make them really hungry and make us lock in that much more for the last month of the season to make sure we get back down there.
How did this all work out that you guys were able to get that? And then it was 2 huge games with such importance on the conference race for both the girls and boys.
Yeah, that was awesome. I originally, they had reached out to us and just wanted us to go down there. And my head coach that I played for in high school, Peyton Sheridan, he's actually the head boys coach at Solon. We thought we had that set up. It ended up not working with our schedule and theirs, be able to play because we were both had full schedule, so we weren't able to add that extra game. So we were able to move. Luckily, St. Albert's was willing to move it down there. I'm not sure how, but Coach Power, or Mr. Power, I think, reached out to them and asked if they'd be willing to, because we already had a February game scheduled with them. So I think we just moved it to a different date, and that's the way it was able to work out for everybody. That was nice.
Well, congrats on that win, and congrats even more on the win against Creston that secured the outright conference championship, an undefeated run through the Hawkeye 10. You win by 24, and I hate to put it this way, you win by 24, which is a really comfortable win, but from everybody I've heard from, it wasn't the cleanest game you guys have played this year.
Yeah, I don't think we went into that game very focused. That's on me as a coach and making sure we didn't get in there locked in the way we were supposed to. But it was definitely a frustrating game from the standpoint of we didn't play to our capability. They ran a 1-2-2 against us, and I just didn't think we did a great job of trying to. Our goal, we wanted to attack inside out and break them down that way. And Creston had been playing better the last couple of weeks of the year. They won 4 of their last 6 coming into it, with one of their losses being in overtime. So they've been playing a lot better since they switched to this defense. And a lot of it was teams have just got 3-point happy against it. And if they don't fall, then it allows a team like that to stick around. And we didn't shoot the ball very well. So when things like that happen, it allows them. They didn't so much stick around, but we didn't play to our ability, I think.
Probably not a bad thing to still win by 24, not play your best going into the postseason, which should lock everybody in. You don't know for sure who you play yet next Thursday. It'll either be Alta Aurelia or Manson Northwest Webster, but I have a feeling the guys will be pretty focused no matter who it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is we got to make sure you have to you can't take any game for granted. You got to go into every game locked in. Going to steal Coach Steinkamp's, football motto was 0-0 every week. And that's the thing with basketball is it literally is every one team is now reset to 0-0. Everybody's in district play. Everybody has the same opportunity as long as you keep winning to get to the state tournament and play for a state title. But if you lose, you go home. Our guys sadly learned that the hard way last year when we fell short of our goal. We didn't just want to make it down there. We wanted to win it the whole thing, and we didn't even make it down there because we didn't show up to a game that we were more than capable of winning, and we didn't play to our ability, and that cost us. So I think that's pretty fresh. We got a lot of guys that played a big role in that team, so I think it's fresh in their mind, and we'll be okay.
Coach, what'd you think of your district and that sub-state when they came out earlier this week?
It wasn't what I was expecting to maybe get Southeast Valley from a sub-state. That didn't happen. Forest City and Roland Story would be as a sub-state we're matched up with. But even in our district, I think South Hardin is a sneaky team. Just looking at what they've done from a scheduling standpoint, from a reduction standpoint, they remind me a lot of last year's Union team. They even beat Union.
Yep.
I believe on Monday this week. They're a sneaky team that you can't sleep on. So I think that's take care of business. We'll figure out who we're playing between Manson and Alta. You can't go into a game like that and sleep on them just because it's a first round game. I've unfortunately my first year as an assistant coach here, we won the Hawkeye 10, and we lost to an IKM Manning team that we had beat earlier in the year by a lot, and we didn't show up ready to play, and that cost us. So upsets happen this time of year, and sometimes you can do the right things and the ball still won't go in the basket. So we just have to make sure we're showing up and doing our best to execute and give ourselves the best chance.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate all the time here today. Congratulations again on all the success that you've had so far this year. Best of luck, and we'll see you here again here soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. Head coach again, Sean Minahan, with the Kemper boys basketball team. Back with more here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Ladies, this one's for you. Join us for a girls' night out, perimenopause edition at St. Anthony Hospital. A relaxed, no-judgment night all about women's health, connection, and real conversation. Hi, this is Jessica Burkowski, a nurse practitioner and certified menopause specialist with St. Anthony Clinic. The evening begins with opening the conversation on perimenopause wellness, setting the stage for the night ahead. Then you'll enjoy a special screening of the M Factor 2 Before the Pause, a powerful and relatable film exploring the physical, emotional, and social sides of perimenopause and midlife health. There'll be a popcorn bar with fun toppings, pop, and wine, and yes, athleisure is encouraged. Come comfy, bring a girlfriend, and settle in for a conversation every woman deserves to be a part of. It's Wednesday, March 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. Space is limited. Register online today at our St. Anthony Facebook page. Girls Night Out, Perimenopause Edition, because you're not alone, and it's time we talk about it. St. Anthony Regional Hospital, always look to the cross, always St. Anthony.
Katie Cook, the head girls basketball coach of the Carroll Tigers, joining us here on this Saturday morning as we look back at what's been an extremely busy stretch for the Tigers as they head into the postseason. Carroll played 4 games in a 5-day stretch to end last week and begin this week. Coach, appreciate you joining us here today, and hopefully you and the girls have had a little bit of time to kind of rest and recover from that stretch to end last week and begin this week.
Yeah, we have. For the most part, we're feeling pretty good.
What's that like playing that many games in a short period of time? You got a game plan. You got to try and get everybody ready. You guys were battling some illnesses and injuries during that stretch as well. So, how did you feel like you guys handled that as a whole?
I think we handled it pretty well. I think we got better through it all. I mean, we had 4 really competitive games in 5 days. You go through some really tough spots, so you learn a lot about yourself and how certain people handle certain things, and then you grow from it. It was injuries, sickness. Oh my goodness. At some points we were having a really good time, and at some points we were just felt like we were trying to keep our head above water.
Where did you feel, you mentioned early in that comment that you thought you got better. Where did you feel like the girls improved?
I mean, we got to play 2 really good teams on Monday and Tuesday in Gilbert and North Polk. And, I mean, when you play somebody that good, that plays that fast, you can't help but get better. It's hard to simulate that in practice.
Right. I know one player that kind of stepped up for you a little bit, and I know she got player of the game, I think 2 games in a row for you. Sadie Kelly, nice to see her back after the issues that she had early in the season that cost her some games for health concerns and stuff, but went out and played hard for you, so nice to see her having some moments here late in her senior season.
Yeah, she's a really special player. Obviously very, very athletic, very quick, brings a lot of energy to our team. So I'm really happy to have her healthy at this point in the season.
Talk about her effort defensively. I know she's been making some shots for you as of late, but it seems to me just as a broadcaster, that she plays with a high energy on the defensive end for you.
Yeah, she definitely does. She understands, how to be tough on the ball, and she's going to point A to point B. She's going as fast as she can, and she's really quick. I think she's 5'1", maybe, but she plays really, really big, and she's got a lot of heart.
And offensively, you've probably seen it in practice, but she was able to step up, looked pretty comfortable shooting that 3-point shot for you.
She sure does. She's got a great shot, and she's hard to guard because she can also drive to the hole. She's a really good passer, too. So, again, like I said, it's been nice to have her back on the court and have her feeling good.
Maybe your best game through the stretch was the game against Gilbert on Monday night. What'd you see from the girls?
We had a tough fourth quarter, but we were right there with them. Allie had sprained an ankle and had been out for a couple of games, Friday and Saturday, and we're just not quite the same team without her. So it was nice to have Allie back on Monday. I want to say, did she have 23 points? So, that always helps. just, Gilbert really pushes the ball in transition, so it's good work for us to have to get back and stop that. They got a star player in their point guard, Callie Hales, so it's good for us to, kind of focus in on one key guard player because that's what we have to do tonight against Humboldt.
Coach, you mentioned Allie having to be out a couple of games her senior season. She's about as a competitive kid as I seen today. How much did that kind of affect her, hurt her to not be able to be out there and help her kids and her teammates?
She's been through a lot. I mean, she's had a broken foot. She's had a broken knee. Yeah. She's battled back trouble. And now with the ankle sprain that had her sit out a couple games, I just admire her toughness too, because I know all of it wears on her and it gets old and the pain is tough to deal with. But so I'm proud of her for being able to handle all of that and still come out and compete and play as hard as she does.
And what a senior campaign she's put together, like you said, to come back from all of those issues and to play at the level that she's playing at, not just how hard she plays, but to play at the level that she's playing at.
Yeah, she's a strong kid. She's really quick. She can help us with, if we need her to post up, she can post up. If we need her to shoot threes or drive, she can do that. If we need her to help break the press, she can do that, and we usually have her do all of the above. So, yeah, she's been a really special player for us.
And, Coach, another player I want to mention here real quick, starting to see more and more minutes, it looks like, from the outside in Willow Feld. What have you seen from her that's gotten her on the floor more as the season's gone on? Because I'm guessing it's something that other younger players can do, is maybe try to emulate maybe what she's doing in practice and those type of things to earn that playing time.
Right. Well, she always plays really hard. She's learning really quick, and she's tough. She's physically tough. She's mentally tough. She doesn't get shaken up very easily. And when you play the tough games that we play, you have to be able to have that to give you a little bit of an edge, or just to be able to compete out there. Not to mention she can kind of jump out of the gym, and she's super, super fast.
So she's got a really good future if she continues to play with that effort and put some time in. Coach, you got Humboldt coming up tonight. It's the opening round of the playoffs for you guys, the postseason in Class 3A. You're going to take on a Humboldt team that comes in 9-12 on the year. I had forgotten until you mentioned it during the commercial break that you guys had played them in the Pride scrimmage, so a little bit familiar with them. I'm sure they're slightly different now than they were at the beginning of the year, but what have you seen from them, and what's it going to take to be able to move through tonight's game?
Well, we just have to take it one play at a time. I think, it'll end up being close. So every little thing is going to make a difference. They have, like I mentioned earlier, they have a star player in Ava Fisher. She's kind of an all-around player for her, naturally more of a guard, but she can play inside a little bit too. Averaging 18 points a game. So we'll obviously be keying in on her and making sure it's a priority to stop her from scoring and shooting the three ball. She's a deep shooter. She's recently had lots of 20-plus point games. So very dangerous.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck coming up later tonight. I'll see you out there for the ball game as I've got the broadcast. So looking forward to the matchup tonight. Appreciate you joining us here today, and we'll talk to you again later on tonight.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
You bet. Head Coach Katie Cook again with the Carroll girls basketball team. We're back with more here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
At Mackey Motors, growth means opportunity. And right now, we're looking for 2 full-time ASC certified technicians to join our team. If you're ready for a shop that values your skills, you'll find it here. We offer competitive pay, paid time off, 401k, health and life insurance, and a positive professional work environment. If you're an ASC certified technician looking for stability, great benefits, and a room to grow, let's talk. Stop by Mackey Motors in Lake City for more information.
Together, let's drive. Mackey Motors in Lake City. MackeyMotors.com.
We're back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning, talking Kemper girls basketball. Joining us right now is head coach Justin Yetmar. Coach, it's always good to catch up with you. How you doing?
I'm good, Jeff. Appreciate the time and opportunity to talk some Kemper girls basketball.
Absolutely, Coach. You guys get your postseason run underway later tonight. You'll get a familiar foe in Red Oak. You get them at home in Class 3A Region 2. But you guys had a couple of games to wrap up the regular season, both conference opponents this week. You edged by Creston 50-46, fell to St. Albert in that conference championship matchup down at the Casey Center. Before we talk either one of the games, even though the game didn't go your way, how fun was it to be able to get the girls down there to the Casey Center and get to play in that facility on that floor?
Yeah, that was a great night from an experience standpoint. These girls, especially these seniors, they put a lot of time and effort into, the basketball program. So to kind of have that opportunity, play for a conference championship on top of it, it was just fun. And, the girls, the game did not go the way we wanted.
Right.
But like I told the girls, it's, in 20 years, we remember the experiences and, you probably don't remember the score of the game. So embrace it, enjoy it. We got to see it. And, our goal is hopefully in 2 weeks we get to see it again.
Absolutely, and I think you've got a group that certainly has that potential, Coach. What do you think was the experiences they took away? And I know disappointed with how the game went. You've got some girls that have been battling the weather. A lot of teams have had that, but it seems to be hitting you guys pretty hard right now. But what do you think the girls took away that you think can help them here in the playoff run?
I think for them it was understanding that we still have a lot of work to do. We've played in a lot of close games. We've came from behind a lot lately, so for us it's, really starting fast, being the aggressor. And Tuesday night we did not do that. It's just that first 4 minutes, that's been our focus, is how we can win these first 4 minutes. And once we get settled in, we feel like we can play some pretty good basketball. So for whatever reason, the starts have just not gone our way. But, the girls know that, have been focused on it, and we've talked about it and trying different ways to kind of get us going.
I hate to ask it this way, but as you mentioned, it's kind of been a theme for a lot, especially the second half of the season. Is it becoming a mental thing for the girls of, they're thinking too much about the fact that we've got to start fast because we haven't, and that's impacting them some?
That could be very fair. And I think you might have said it, kind of thinking. I always say we're at our best when we're not thinking.
Yep.
We're just playing. So it's been intentional this week in practice on how we're approaching that. We're putting them in, late game situations or a lot of unique situations. And, there's been times where us coaches just step aside and kind of give the direction of, you guys figure it out type of thing. And, so for us, like you said, it's, and for us, it's really less thinking, more playing, use your talents, use your skills, you know what you're doing. Like I say, I think we're going to be fine. Every team kind of goes through the ups and downs, the peaks and valleys of the season, and, we've kind of experienced that almost every game, it feels like. But a ton of faith and confidence in this group that, we're going to be fine.
Coach, you guys edged by Creston earlier in the week on Monday, 50-46. Charlotte Hackford, who has been known as a three-point shooter throughout her entire career, I've noticed here lately she's going to the hole and attacking the rim more often. I think that's a great move for her. But legend scoring that night, what did you see from her? And then what was the difference? You guys kind of jumped up in the second quarter and then kind of held on. But what was the difference that gave you the win that night?
For us, we started shooting a lot of threes. Charlotte did have a great night. Kaylee Simons has kind of been under the weather, so she was very limited. So Chars knew she had to pick up the scoring. And as a team, as a whole, we settled too much for threes and beyond that, really deep threes, versus being a little more patient, working through our offense against that zone. kind of fell into the trap that they wanted. We're a really good shooting team. When we do the right things, inside-out kicks, drive kicks, those kinds of things, we shoot it really well. But, that night we kind of fell into a little bit of a trap. But, there were stretches where we executed. And then late in the game, we actually got down 1. And, the girls just kept making plays and made enough stops late where, we snuck out of there with a good win. And, Creston had been playing really well. They have a really good guard. She averages over 20 a game. We held her to 12. So, defensively, we did do a lot of good things, especially late when we needed those stops.
Coach, Red Oak now tonight. We'll have the broadcast for everybody, of course, on our Carroll Broadcasting Sports Network stations. You haven't seen them since, I think, December the 12th or something like that, and you beat them by 30-some back then. How different are they then, and what do you anticipate to see from them tonight?
Yeah, much improved. They're really dangerous shooting the basketball. So it's one of those things where, we're 0-0, they're 0-0. Kind of a brand new season, if you will, but they can really shoot it if you allow them to. So we are really focused on obviously not looking ahead, focused on what we're doing. So they're going to be much improved. I don't anticipate anything similar to what we saw in December. They got a good young coach that. He's very passionate and is doing a lot of great things with that program. So we just got to be ready to go and kind of play our style of basketball. And, if we do that, I think we'll be okay.
Coach, as far as your brackets, we know that there's the potential Des Moines Christian looming, but that means you got to get there first. What did you think of the brackets when you saw them when they were released?
Yeah, for us it was, obviously the opportunity to potentially host 2 home games is huge. So that's kind of my first takeaway is, these girls have put themselves in a position to be the 2 seed for that region, and the opportunity to host if you take care of business. And I've kind of been talking to Ryan Steinkamp a lot, and he kept saying the 0-0 mentality, and we've really bought into that. So little coach speak here, but it's true of, we're taking it one at a time. The nice part in postseason is you play Saturday and then you get 3 days or 4 days of, recovery, which then allows you to focus on the next opponent, and, that continues, throughout the playoffs. So like I say, it's good for us to, get a home game to start off against Red Oak, and then we'll kind of see where it goes from there.
Well, Coach, as always, enjoy talking to you, so appreciate all the time here today. Best of luck coming up tonight with the Red Oak, and look forward to catching up with you again here soon.
You bet. Appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you.
You bet. Head coach again, Justin Yetmar with the Kemper girls basketball team. We're back with more here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Hi, this is Dr. Rick Gotting. Join me here on KCIM at 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings where I talk about orthopedics and whatever else really comes to mind. We have a good time on the show, and we would like to invite you to join us.
Listen this Sunday morning at 10 a.m. right here on KCIM for the St. Anthony Hospital Orthopedics Show with Dr. Rick Gotting. For more information about St. Anthony Orthopedics, go to stanthonyhospital.org or call 794-5536.
We're back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. Carroll Boys wrestling team heading off to their state qualifying meet up at Sergeant Bluff Luton this morning. They'll get underway at 10 o'clock, and of course we'll have updates on all of the Carroll wrestlers for you across all 3 of our Carroll broadcasting stations throughout the day. Coaches, always appreciate you joining us here today, and man, it's hard to believe how fast this season's gone.
Yeah. It was just a little while ago. We were thinking November the season was starting, so yeah, it's gone fast.
It has, and they always do, but I think you enjoy this time of year. There's just a little different feeling when the postseason rolls around, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yep, this is the culmination of everything that you've done for 3 months is wrapped up into one day to make 1 week out of it. So
yeah.
It's just kind of one of those things where, you just put all that time and effort in and hopefully good things happen. And if not, you just got to go with it, and that's where it's at. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and you guys haven't had an actual match for over a week now, but I know you've had some practices with some other area teams. What was the focus kind of in that last week to week and a half since you haven't had an actual duel to kind of get everybody ready for today?
The last week we worked on just basically we did some live wrestling going through. We had some teams come up, so we were able to go some live goes and get some feels on some different guys instead of wrestling with your own partner all the time. So that was nice and gave a feel out of that. But the last couple of weeks has just been kind of focusing on your positioning and where you're good and where you're not good, how we don't get put into those positions and things like that. So it's just kind of sharpening that knife and getting our body healed up from, like I said, 3 months of battling and running every weekend and every week, and just kind of let your body and your mind get settled back in and rested to a point so you can make one last run at it and try to heal up as much as possible and fix some things as much as possible, basically.
You've got a lot of seniors that one last go to get to state and then have success down there. So what's the mentality that you've seen those guys have this week in practice and maybe even the last month of the season?
They've had a sense of urgency with things. You see a little change, but not much has changed with these guys. It's crazy when you think about it. You go throughout the season and kind of recap and look back, and not much has really changed with them. They've been kind of steady and through from day one till now. I mean, they got better, and you see more drive out of them sometimes, depending on the week and how things are going. But this group of seniors has basically stayed pretty steady in what they are and keep their emotions in check and things like that. So they don't let it get too big, and they don't let things get too small, and they just kind of keep it within even in check. And that's kind of what you want them to be, is just that kind of smooth operator. And like I said, don't get too high, don't get too low, just stay within your means and get to where you're good.
What's the schedule for you guys today with bus time leaving, weigh-ins, and getting ready for a 10 a.m. start?
5:30 a.m. bus ride, 8 o'clock weigh-in. Then we go to the seating meeting, and while we're in the seating meeting get things started, then they'll get warmed up probably about 9 o'clock or so, maybe 8:30, 8:45, depends what kind of mood they're in. We'll get warmed up for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and then 10 o'clock it's going to be game time and time to rock and roll and get that first match underway. And that's the important one. You got to win that first match to give yourself a chance, and then after that, then the cards lie however they're at. And if you lose that first one, you just got to bust your butt and do the best you can to get the next best thing, and that's what you got to shoot for. Hopefully you win that first match and give yourself a chance to advance and move to the finals if you get that opportunity. If not, get your chance to get Russell back and fight off so you have an opportunity for that true second place.
And I know I'm going to ask this question. I know the answer to it, but I love to ask you every year. How many guys do you get through?
Everybody's got a chance.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I hate saying it. I know,
but it's true.
It drives everybody nuts,
yeah.
But it is. I mean, you take the girls' state tournament last weekend. Katie Mascaglia, going for her 4 times. She's been beat one time in high school. She was 200-something and won.
Yep.
And the girl she got beat was out of the state, not in the state of Iowa. So this was her first loss at the state championship, going for number 4 by a girl who she's beat before. And anything can happen. That's a great thing about the state wrestling tournament is or districts or whatever. Anybody can beat anybody at any time. You just can't take things for granted. So we try not to look too far ahead. You get your little number, and everybody questions you and asks. And me, 20-some years of this, I'm superstitious. I don't let too many people know because then you never get too disappointed. You know.
Yep.
Worst case scenario, nobody.
Yeah, and we know that probably won't happen with the talent you've got, Coach. I guess I'm looking here and I'm trying to think. I know you guys have seen Greene County, you've seen Kemper, you've seen OAB, CIG, SPL, Heelan. Is there anybody in this region that off the top of my head, I think you've seen everybody so far, or maybe not Humboldt?
We've seen Humboldt. MOC is the only one we haven't seen.
Okay.
Humboldt we saw at the Roland Dryer, so we saw them at Atlantic. But MOC we thought we would see at Bishop Heelan, because that's kind of why we got into that Bishop Heelan when we couldn't get into the Herb. But they didn't show up, so we didn't. Some of their guys showed up, so we saw them. We didn't get to see some of the other guys, but basically we've seen everybody. Just maybe not guys that are in there now that maybe were out when that time happened, but we've seen everybody.
How's that affect how you guys go out and wrestle? Being you're probably familiar with maybe who you're going to match up with in most of the weight classes and matches?
Yeah, it gives you a good idea, it gives you a starting point. But then again, you got to look at when you met him in the season. You know what I mean? Did you meet him late in the season when you made your first cut, or did you see him early in the season when you weren't at weight, or maybe you were struggling or something like that? So, it gives you a good starting point. It's kind of like when you're in school. It gives you a general knowledge background that you have that can give you a start. But like I said, that's just a snapshot, and that one match was just a moment. It's a little bit different, a tournament versus a duel, things like that, because tournament, where you caught him in the tournament, those types of things, where a duel, it's, right then and there, so you got that. So it adds a little bit to it, but then again, it adds that kind of starting point of where you need to be and the things that you need to work on, that when you do get that opportunity to wrestle that guy, you kind of know what you can do and what you can't do. But then again, the other side is if you look too far ahead, you forget about the other guy that's sitting in there, and then you miss all those opportunities. So we just basically, we know who's in the bracket. We know where they're possibly going to be. We know where we're at, and it's not going to matter until you put your foot on the line, the whistle blows, shake hands, and you rock and roll. And that's basically what we're looking at. It gives you a general idea, but again, anything can happen.
Well, Coach, as always, enjoy talking with you. I'm looking forward to following how the guys do up there today, and then, of course, looking to cover them down at the state wrestling tournament next week.
I appreciate everything you guys have done for us, and hopefully we have more than just one.
Yeah, absolutely. Head coach Eric Noggle again with the Carroll Boys wrestling team joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Does your office or home office need a refresh? Stone Printing and Office Supply in Carroll can help. From comfortable chairs to quality office furniture, they've got affordable options to upgrade your space. Call 792-3901 and see how Stones can give your office a fresh new look.
Shane Vaughn, the head boys wrestling coach with the Kemper Knights, joining us here as they get ready to head off to Sergeant Bluff Luton today for their state qualifying meet. And Coach, you guys are already on the road. I'm sure probably on the bus at 5:30 this morning to get up there. The show, of course, starts at 8 o'clock as we've recorded it ahead of time so people know. You had weigh-ins that started at 8 this morning. So for me to say you're on the way, I kind of misspoke there a little bit, right?
Yeah, early day, but excited to get after it.
Absolutely. What's the week been kind of like for you? You wrapped up with the girls last week down at the state tournament, so I know the boys wrestled late last week as well on Thursday, but you've had some time now Saturday and then through this week. What was the focus and what was the room like?
Yeah, it was definitely different. We had about half as many people in there with the girls' season being done, so a little quieter, able to spread out a little more. Definitely missed having them in there. They were a fun group to work with, but it was also kind of nice to be able to focus a little more on the boys and kind of break things down. And, the girls had a great year, and so we were able to put a cap to that over in Coralville and move on to the next group.
What was the focus? What were the little things that you were working on with the boys to have everybody ready to go today?
Kind of just a lot of little, fine-tuning. We talked Monday at practice, like no one's going to reinvent themselves this week, so let's figure out, hey, where we get good and how can we get better there, and then where do we struggle and how can we, minimize that deficit a little bit.
Did it feel like a good week of practice? I know you guys had some illnesses late last week, so is everybody feeling better and able to kind of go full steam?
Yeah, we're starting to come back around. This point in the year, everyone across the street is dealing with something. You got guys that are banged up, sick, sore, tired. Like it is what it is. Everyone's in the same boat. All that really matters is the product you put out on the mat at the end of the season, and from that standpoint, it's kind of equal opportunity from here on out.
It sounds like right now I'm going to have probably one of the bigger teams you've had maybe in a little while. What's that feel like to be able to put some more numbers out on the mats?
Yeah, it's exciting. We've definitely had an up and down year with injuries and illness and everything, everything I was just talking about, but we're able to bring 8 guys today, and so that's a bigger squad than we've had at most of our tournaments. So I'm excited to see what we look like as a team with the bigger group out there.
What was the excitement for the guys like? What did you see? Was there a different focus, especially for your seniors going through and your upperclassmen that have kind of been through this and know what it means to be mentally ready to go for today?
Yeah, I think definitely focus picked up a little bit the further in the year we got. It's kind of one of those things where, you have a year where you're struggling as a dual team, but the individual component of the sport is still important.
Yep.
So you got your guys that are willing to take ownership of their season and their success and put the work in, and other guys kind of pick up on that and start to fall in line a little bit.
How do you feel like the seeding meeting goes for you guys? Pretty comfortable where you think everybody will end up?
Yeah, I think so. It's not the old days where everyone sits down and argues quite as much. Everything's pretty much auto set through track, and might be a little adjustment here or there, but for the most part, you kind of know where you are going into it.
Do you miss those argument days, or are you glad they're over?
So those were kind of phasing out as I was getting into coaching. You have a little bit of it here and there at tournaments, but every year it seems to get a little calmer. I don't get too caught up in seeding and whatnot. Like, the way I see it, just get out on the mat and wrestle, but it's kind of entertaining some of those people that get real into that and the different arguments you hear over the years.
You've seen a lot of the teams that you're going to see today up there. How much does that benefit the guys to maybe know what they may face when they see somebody, or does an earlier match maybe a month ago really have any impact on what could happen today?
It's good and bad, but at the end of the day, all that matters is today, right? So you've got guys that have lost matches to guys in their bracket that they're hungry to get back. You've got guys that have won matches but know that the other kid's going to be hungry and coming after them. So regardless of what happened last time out, you got to go out and get the job done again, or flip the result from the last time if it didn't go your way.
How do you prepare for the guys that maybe you haven't seen, or the teams you haven't seen so far this season?
Just focus on what we do well. It kind of sounds cliche, but we have a lot of guys that if they go out and get to their style and make the match the way they want to wrestle, they're going to be comfortable. If you get too caught up in worrying about the other guy, you're going to slow down, not react as well, and not be up top of your game.
I love asking this question to wrestling coaches because I always know the answer, but I love giving you guys the opportunity to be able to explain it. But people always ask us how many guys are getting through, how many guys are getting through. So, Coach, how many guys get through?
Everyone's got a shot. Like I said before, we're all in the same boat.
Yep.
8 guys in a bracket. 8 teams there, 8 guys in a bracket, and top 2 come out of it. So everyone's got that equal opportunity. Records don't matter. Grade doesn't matter. What they did last year doesn't matter. And we got one thing left ahead of us and ready to get after it.
Coach, as far as team-wise, what are the top teams that you think will be there that maybe will pose the most challenge, for the team standings and to get the most amount of kids through?
Yeah, we got a pretty good amount of tough teams in this region. Sergeant Bluff is always pretty good, obviously. Carroll's been having a great year. They've got a lot of tough kids. Humboldt, we saw early on, they were really tough week 1, and they've had a good season. So, but, a sport like wrestling, there's going to be tough kids at every school.
Yep.
So even schools that don't have the overall team success have tough guys. So that's something where, coming in the weekend, you care a little less about the logo and a little more about the output.
Not just because it's in the same town, but I'd ask this same thing. Like, I've got Coon, Audubon, and ESAC all going to the same district. When you're got somebody that's as local for you guys as what Carroll is, how is that? How does that change anything, or how's that feeling going? We've got other guys like here. You're literally across town, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet. I want to see the Carroll guys do well. Anytime they wrestle, someone without a cross in their singlet, right? So if they're competing against Kemper, obviously I want our guys to get the better of it. But at the end of the day, I think it's good for the town and good for both programs if we're having high-level wrestling come out of here.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, I hope our guys win all the head-to-head matchups, but I hope that, the weights we qualify, they do as well, and the weights we don't have guys, I hope they go out and win the thing.
Yeah, I bring that up because I know you guys always have a bond, like with the teams in your conferences and stuff too. But you guys see the Audubons and the Coons and the Carrolls and the ESACs and the South Centrals, the other schools we cover. It does seem like there's a bond with programs when you're all kind of from the same area.
Yeah, it's kind of I guess I don't even know if it's a uniquely wrestling thing or not, but you compete hard against each other, but you kind of share that common bond. And I want to see Hawkeye 10 schools be successful. It makes us all better. It makes the conference tournament better. It makes our guys hungrier. Just like I want to see those Carroll guys do well. And I know a lot of the kids on our team grew up wrestling at club with the Carroll kids. And so I want to see them have success. And I just hope that our guys are having the same success as well.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate all of the time. Wish you the best of luck and look forward to catching up with you down at the state tournament next week.
Yeah, see you down there.
You bet. Head coach Shane Vaughn again with the Kemper boys wrestling team. When life gets busy and schedules start shifting, figuring out meals can get a little tricky. Pizza Ranch is here to make it easy. Stop in for their buffet and enjoy all your Pizza Ranch favorites. Prefer to stay in? Check out their new carry-out and delivery deals. An 8-piece chicken box for $16 or a large pizza with 16 boneless wings for just $25. Call today or order any of these offers online at PizzaRanch.com. Pizza Ranch just off Highway 30 in Carroll.
Whoa, that's good.
That's going to wrap up our Pizza Ranch Coaches Show for on this Saturday morning. Thanks again to Deb Danner, Randy Beeson, Sean Minahan, Katie Cook, Justin Yetmar, Eric Nagel, and Shane Vaughn all joining us. It's a busy day today as well. We've got Tegan Renzi, Legan Cease. Tegan's in the 200 free and the 100 free. Legan Cease in the 200 IM and in the 100 breaststroke. Of course, they're in the finals coming up today. Starting at 12:30 down in Iowa City. We also have the 200 and 400 freestyle relay. Both of those relays for Carroll will feature Tegan Renzi, Weston Toft, Landon Cadwell, and Legan Cease. So the same four guys, again, will be in the same events. Now, we've got state boys wrestling qualifying meets going on today. 3 different sites. We'll get you updates throughout the day on the Carroll Broadcasting Sports Network on all 3 stations, KCIM and KKRL. We've got Audubon, ESAC, and Coon Rapids Bayard up at Ridgeview today in Class 1A District 8. Carroll and Kemper are at Sergeant Bluff Luton in Class 2A District 8. And South Central Calhoun goes to Riverside today, Class 1A District 9. All of those getting underway at 9 o'clock. Postseason girls basketball continuing tonight as Class 2A and 3A getting underway. Class 2A Region 3, we've got ESAC hosting Madrid. That'll be on Kick 106.7 with Mr. Nick Brinks. Class 3A Region 2, Kemper entertaining Red Oak with Mason Nealon. That'll be on KCIM. In Class 3A Region 7, Carroll Tigers hosting Humboldt. I'll have that one for everybody on 93.7 K Carroll. All of those should be pregame at around 6:45 with the tip-off of those games coming up at 7 o'clock. Again, that's going to wrap up our Pizza Ranch Coaches Show for this Saturday. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.